The first thing that I want you to do in the morning is nothing. I want you to stop and I want you to prioritize the day. And if it takes an hour of your time so that the other 7 hours are going to be wildly productive, that's A-okay with me. The worst thing in the world for you to do is get up, start working. The absolute worst thing for you to do is get up and start checking email. But that's a whole different story about brain science. So let's actually close the loop there on that 2+2 debrief cycle so that we
let's
can
do
give
that.
something tangible to walk away from. What happens as leaders is that we get an emotional, ego-driven response when we get to failure. Why? I've already told you this. It's because you have a fear of inadequacy or fear of judgment. And as the leader, you don't like the inadequacy. That's fine. So you show up and you're frustrated. Park that right now. That's fine. You have an emotional response. Let's leave it there. If you cannot control your emotional response, the only thing that you need to do is you need to put time between you and the event. Just say, let's talk about it later. Here's what I would say. Rigo, are you ready for a 2+2 debrief? Yeah, you bet. Let's do this thing. Here's why 2+2. I'm only talking about one thing I already know as the leader, the correction that I want to put into place. But I'm not going to overload my teammate by giving them so much garbage that they don't know what I really intended for them. So I'm going to start it out. If you can imagine, it looks like a square, 4 quadrants in the square. Top left quadrant says, what's one thing that you did well? And I wait for the response. They say, well, I think that I saw that, I got that sale to a close. I would say, yes. Now, bottom left quadrant, I'm going to give them one thing that I think that they did well. So in that bottom left quadrant, I say, yes, that was a great job on closing that sale. But what I thought that you did very well, and I'm going to be specific and articulate here, is I thought you did a great job in the qualification of the candidate in the first place, of that prospect in the first place. So yes, you got to the close, but I was more impressed with that quality of decisions that you made in the beginning. Second side, right side of this is that's the first two. Now we're going to do the 2+2. The second side is what's one thing that you would have done differently, Rigo?
Mm-hmm.
And now this is where the magic happens in this micro debrief process, because if you get it right, we can call it complete. Well, actually, I didn't get the sale closed to the correct dollar value. We didn't make any money off of it, whatever. I'm just using your example. And then if that's the thing that I want to give input on, I would respond back, I actually agree with you. That's the thing that I was going to say as well. What I'd like to focus on is I'd like to focus on making sure that we work as a team together, that we slow down, that we make sure that we get the numbers right before we move to close. And if it's not, then I still give the feedback. But the point of that is I started out 2+2. I started out putting you in a positive emotional state.
Yep.
I created psychological safety for you by letting you know that we're in this thing together. And I created buy-in from you because you're starting the conversation and I hear you.